typically credit in the past, the person has been judged on their ability to pay and their history of paying timely. Now, this product tells you something else. It tells you, can this person actually pay me back if I lend them money? And frankly, that's beyond imagination for any credit guy in this country or world, frankly. Remember that this product, they don't have freewheeling access into the consumer's bank accounts. The consumer has to be part of the process by giving them their password, their bank passwords, and login information, or else that creditor cannot gain access to the consumer's bank accounts.
See, that's an interesting insight as well, because when you're being looked at for a potential loan or something like that, you don't usually think about, oh yes, here's my bank account information. So if you don't provide that, do you think it would preclude the lender from loaning them the money if they don't provide that? Do you think it's more of an option, or do you think it's a necessity in order for them to be approved?
I think it'll become a necessity for approval. I mean, it'll be, give me your social security number, give me your bank information. What I believe is the future is a capacity score, where can this person handle any more debt and still maintain the credit history that they had prior?
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. And I think it's really good because it's going to open it up for millennials who really haven't used a lot of credit in the past and are kind of averse to using credit. And so, you know, with there's Venmo and there's PayPal and there's all these new ways, they don't usually use it, and they usually stick to cash or their debit card. So I think this will kind of make it a little bit easier for them to garner credit as well.
It's funny you say cash. I didn't know people were still using cash, but certainly this product that's issued through FICO or Risk Insight certainly makes sense, and it is the future.
One, potential downside to this, though, is the people who've had great credit for years, and like people who've owned credit cards for years, but maybe they have some credit card debt. They pay up, but they still always pay on time, and maybe they don't, they're a little overextended, but they still have great credit. I would wonder about the implications for those individuals, whether a bank would then relook at their FICO score and be like, oh, you know what? We're going to raise your interest rate now because we see that you can't pay, because it's never the opposite way. Like, we see that you can't pay, we're going to lower your interest rate some.
Well, that's a very good point you're making. I mean, it's going to give banks an excuse to charge more because of the risk profile, which is unfair. The other problem is same people may not have access to credit cards like most of us.
In terms of the FICO score, can again help the lender see where their money is going. So if you're overextending yourself on your mortgage, maybe we shouldn't extend you, a car payment for, $700 a month. Maybe you should buy something that's a little bit less, and I think that maybe it'll help guide people in terms of budgeting too. It could help, but again, it could also hurt, so it really depends. And I think that, as you said, it's in the beginning stages, and there's just going to be a lot of different iterations of it, and it's just going to grow just like the regular FICO score does. And it'll be interesting to see which lenders adopt it, because a lot of lenders are still using really outdated old FICO scores.
Well, remember, the Vantage score is also out there. FICO score has been, the predominant player in scoring models, but the credit bureaus got tired of being taken advantage of from a pricing standpoint, so they built their own model, and that is an interesting play. So we'll see a lot of advancements going on in this world, and hopefully the consumer will benefit better. But what I like about this, frankly, if the person is struggling, there's a lot of people that go, and even though they're struggling, they'll go in and take on more credit that they can't afford, and they know they can't afford it. So maybe this will solve a few tears along the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is nice.
Yeah, it'd be good.